After finding a general formula for the inverse of an invertible matrix, we were able to prove Cramer's rule, link in the description. Today we'll get a bit more hands-on with Cramer's rule, make sure we understand it by using it to solve a couple of systems of equations. We'll do a 2x2 example and a 3x3 example. Cramer's rule says if ax equals b is a system of n linear equations in n unknowns, such that the determinant of A, the coefficient matrix, is non-zero, then the system has this unique solution, where each aj is the matrix obtained by replacing the jth column of A with the column of constants from the right side of the equation. This is a pretty straightforward solution to write out, but if you know anything about evaluating determinants, this is not efficient. This is not fun to do, and generally Gauss-Jordan elimination will be a lot more efficient. In order to solve a system using Cramer's rule, we will have to evaluate n plus 1 determinants, the determinant of A, which appears in each term, and then the n determinants of the matrices A1 through AN. Let's go ahead and try it out ourselves. Let's solve this system of two equations and two unknowns, if possible, using Cramer's rule. Here are the relevant matrices. A, the coefficient matrix, then A1, which is the coefficient matrix, but with the first column replaced by the constants on the right side of the equation, and then A2, which again is A, but with the second column replaced by the constants from the right side of the equation. We need to find the determinants of all three of these matrices. Thankfully, they're 2x2, so that's pretty easy. The determinant of A will be 7 minus negative 6, so 7 plus 6, so 13. The determinant of A1 is 3 minus negative 2, so 3 plus 2, so 5. The determinant of A2 will be 7 minus 9, so negative 2. Now that we have all the determinants, we can write out the solution. Here is the solution. The value of x1 is the determinant of a1 divided by the determinant of a, so 5 over 13. The value for x2 is the determinant of a2 divided by the determinant of a, so negative 2 over 13. Geometrically, what we've just done is used Cramer's rule to find the point of intersection of the two lines. Right there, that is the point 5/13, negative 2/13. In this next example, again, we're asked to solve the system, if possible, using Cramer's rule. We have two equations and two unknowns. This one is not possible. We would start by finding the determinant of A, the coefficient matrix, and we find the determinant of A is 0. 4 times 3 is 12, minus 12 is 0. Hence, all of the solutions we could try to calculate would have zeros in the denominator. There is not a solution to this system of linear equations. If we were to graph the two lines, we would find that they are parallel. They do not intersect, and so it's no surprise the determinant of the coefficient matrix is 0. All right, let's bite the bullet and do a 3x3 example. We're going to solve this system using Cramer's rule, 3 equations, 3 variables. Beginning with the coefficient matrix A, we need to find the determinant of A, which is written here, the determinant of this 3x3 matrix. Well, we can perform some row operations in order to find this determinant. Link in the description to my lesson introducing how to find determinants using row operations. What we'll do is get zeros below this leading one, so we'll subtract 4 times row 1 from row 2, and we will subtract 2 times row 1 from row 3. That gets us here, and as we know, adding multiples of one row or column to another does not change the determinant. So the determinant of this is the same as the determinant of this. But now we can perform a pretty easy cofactor expansion along the first column. Link in the description to my lesson on cofactor expansion. All we do is take this first entry, that's 1, and then multiply by the determinant of the submatrix that remains when we delete the row and column of 1. So that's the determinant of that. We see that there. That's just a 2x2 matrix, so that's easy to calculate. We've got that entry 1 multiplied by this determinant, and that determinant is just going to be 15 times negative 5 minus 10 times negative 2, and so this evaluates to negative 75 plus 20, which is negative 55. That's the determinant of the coefficient matrix. So a solution does exist because this is not equal to 0. All right, moving on to the matrix A1. This is the coefficient matrix, but with the first column replaced by the constants from the right side of the system of equations. We'll need to find the determinant of this matrix. You could do that using the handy-dandy diagonal trick, link in the description to my lesson on that trick, but let's just go ahead and do this with row reduction. The easiest option looks like introducing zeros above and below row 2. So what we'll do is add 6 times row 2 to row 1 and subtract 20 times row 2 from row 3. That gets us here, and as we know, adding multiples of a row to another does not change the determinant. So the determinant we're looking for is equal to this determinant. Then it's straightforward to perform a cofactor expansion along the first column. The cofactor expansion gives us -1, but we also have to multiply by -1 to the power of the row number plus the column number. This is row 2 and column 3, so that's -1 to the 2 plus 1. Then we multiply this by the determinant of the submatrix that remains when we delete that row and column, so the determinant seen there. -1 to the 3 times -1 will just cancel out, and so we just need to evaluate this 2 by 2 determinant. That's going to be 10 times -43 seen there, minus 13 times 22. So finally, the determinant is 144. So this is 144. Let's come back up to matrix A. I forgot to put that determinant. That's -55, just writing that down. All right, moving on to A2. The matrix A2 is just the coefficient matrix A, but with the second column replaced by the constants from the right side of the system of equations. To evaluate this determinant, let's just use a cofactor expansion. With 3 by 3 matrices, it's really not that difficult to just use a cofactor expansion from the beginning, because in the end, you just end up with some 2 by 2 determinants. That's not so bad. So performing the cofactor expansion along the first row, we have 1 multiplied by the determinant of that submatrix, and then we subtract 6 multiplied by the determinant of that submatrix, and then we add 1 multiplied by the determinant of that submatrix. Running the numbers, this is 3 minus -40, so 3 plus 40, minus 6 times -12 minus 4, plus 1 times -80 minus -2, so -80 plus 2. Doing the math, this equals 61. So that's the determinant of the matrix A2. One more determinant to go. Here is the matrix A3. It's the coefficient matrix, but with the third column replaced by the constants from the right side of our system of equations. To find the determinant of this matrix, let's try using the diagonal trick, just to mix it up. So to do this, we write our matrix, and then rewrite the first 2 columns on the right side of the matrix. Then we multiply along these rightward diagonals and add up those products. So that's going to be 1 times -1 times -20, which is 20, and then -4 times -1 times 2, which is 8, so plus 8. And then 6 times 4 times 2, so plus 48. Then we subtract products along these leftwards diagonals. So let's run the numbers. 6 times -1 times 2, so that's going to be -12. We are subtracting all of these, so subtract -12. Then the next one, 1 times -1 times 2, that's going to be -2, so minus 2. Notice I'm just subtracting this whole thing, and I'm going to put those leftward diagonals in parentheses. And then we have -4 times 4 times -20, so that will be positive 320. So plus 320, and all of these leftward diagonals are being subtracted. Running the numbers on this is negative 230 once you do the arithmetic. So we have completed all of the work we need to do as far as determinants go. There the calculations are. So let's collect this information and use Cramer's rule to find the solution. Here are all the determinants we calculated, and here's the solution based on Cramer's rule. We have 144, the determinant of A1, divided by the determinant of the coefficient matrix. That's the value of x, and we can just put that negative outside of the fraction. And then for y, we take the determinant of A2 and divide by the determinant of the coefficient matrix, and again, just take that negative outside the fraction. And then for z, we take the determinant of a3 and divide by the determinant of the coefficient matrix. These negatives cancel out, and 230 over 55 can be reduced to 46 over 11. And that's the solution of the system. Since these are linear equations in 3 variables, this describes a system of 3 planes that all intersect at a single point. And that single point is the one that we just found. So that's how to use Cramer's rule to solve a system of linear equations. As you can see, it takes quite a bit of work, but it works. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you find my linear algebra videos helpful, please consider joining Wrath of Math as a channel member to help support what I do and to get early and exclusive access to certain videos, as well as access to my lecture notes that are used in the lessons.